Wish I had my wig on.
So you're from where?
I'm from Howard City originally. I still have a place in Croton.
Oh, Croton. Okay.
Yeah,
And you
Croton.
said you have an uncle. You had an uncle in the fire department.
My grandfather, William McCarthy, was fire captain at Mack Avenue. Geez, from I think he started in the mid-40s and retired in the late 60s.
And how long have you been touring with Lewis?
This is year 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And is it special coming back to Detroit or Michigan? Or?
Yeah. I've been doing comedy in Detroit for a really long time. I don't know if people remember B's Comedy Kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've been doing comedy here for forever, and so it's always fun to come back and walk around. What's happening now? It's just amazing.
You made a little comment in the beginning of the show. You said, "Oh, it's great to see all the stuff now."
Lots of shit to buy,
right.
and I guess people want that. Maybe more groceries. Maybe a little more like it's a real place instead of like an outdoor mall.
Right.
And but still, it's still better to see than isolated places where it was good to go. There were you could go to that place and that, but in between,
right.
It's up for grabs. It could be.
And where else besides B's did you play in Detroit?
Oh, geez, the Chaplains. There were Chaplains. There were, I can't even remember all the clubs. Always, Mark Ridley out in Royal Oak,
right.
the Comedy Castle. We opened a club in Lansing back in the 80s, and we called it Comedy Castle because we thought it was a great name.
Right.
And back then, you just had to open a club and open the doors, and it would just fill up.
Right.
And we all worked at Mark's place, and Mark was so cool. He came up and said, "Hey, you guys can't call it what my club is." And he goes, "Hey, if you want to give me some money or something," we were like, "Oh, no." And he was like, "Yeah, well, knock it off. It's not." But no one knew back then. It was like the Wild West. We were just comedians. We went, "Hey, well, we can rent a place and open the doors," and so.
Right. And how is the audience any different in Detroit, or are they all kind of blend together after a while? Or do you have to
they do blend together.
Do less preparation here?
No.
Or is it a lot?
No, I don't think I could do less preparation.
And what kind of preparation?
I don't think I can possibly do it. I go like this. I open my I make sure my sinuses are open. Like really hard, and I buzz all that, and that's about it.
And do you get a lot?
I look at Wikipedia, like in Joliet last night. I looked at Wikipedia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how about Trump? I mean, you guys take shots at Trump. Do you still get a lot of grief from people in the audience, or was that just?
It calms down. It kind of comes in waves, and it's strange. Sometimes we'll go for 2 or 3 weeks, and then sometimes there'll be 2 nights in a row where somebody turns snowflake.
Yeah. And you remember Ann Arbor a couple of years ago?
Yeah, a guy, an old fella, stood up and pretended like he had a gun, like right in front of the stage, and the security jumped on him.
Worried about that, or?
I couldn't believe I was seeing it. My heart was racing. I was standing off stage. Lou was on stage, and I thought, your brain does that thing to protect yourself where it predicts the future, and so horribly I saw him actually having a gun, so I was it was really scary to think that, and just the fact that he would do that as a threat is how horrible. That's a horrible place. Yeah.
And do you guys hop on the bus now, or are you going to stay overnight?
We'll stay overnight.
And where do you usually stay when you come back?
We've stayed at different places. I'm trying to think of the Athenaeum or the Book Cadillac,
okay.
And stayed at the Renaissance Center once.
Any restaurants that you like to go to, or?
Well, because
those are very provincial questions.
Yeah, I mean, because I came here a lot when I was a kid, and came my grandfather used to go to Greek town, a lot of eating Greek food, and but my grandfather being in the fire department was also a cook, so he also cooked, so, but I guess now there are so many incredible choices where you can get a steak for $195 and caviar and a cracker for, I think it was $240 on the menu.
Really?
We looked at.
Are you surprised about how many new restaurants there are? Or?
Yeah. Again, I'm maybe a few more grocery stores or something.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'm not complaining. I guess it's nice to see Detroit connected, where you can go from one cool thing to the next cool thing without being afraid that someone.
And you were on Seinfeld how many times?
Once.
I remember that show.
Yeah, the Teddy Padillac, the umbrella guy. Yeah.